What's up? February 28th, Wednesday. 28th, right?
Yeah, I think
Colin
they
says.
changed the monitor.
All right.
Day tomorrow.
What?
Big day tomorrow.
Leap year?
Leap
Yeah.
year day.
I kind of hate it.
Once every 4 years.
I like
Do you know why we have it?
Why we have leap years?
Yeah.
It's something with the stars or sun or something.
The calendar is 365 days and 6 hours. Shout out Mr. Flood, freshman year global. He taught us that.
Oh,
So every 4 years you need a 6th day.
hours. That's so stupid.
I always just think about the people that are
I
born.
actually wish you didn't tell me that.
Imagine being born on February 29th.
You're like
Yeah, my
7
buddy
years old.
Nick's father has.
That's wild. It's just a
I
wild
don't know. I
concept.
would just say, which one would you pick? Would you pick the 28th or would you pick March 5th?
I must think you should pick 20th because it's your birthday month.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but it's a day before. I don't know.
I mean, then March 1st, the day after.
Can hospitals just take a bribe? Like, if you're there that
What do you
day,
say we
just put it to 28th.
Especially if it's
you
like,
wanna
what if
slip
it's
my-
like
slip my envelope and
12:01?
Yeah, 100%.
What do you,
One
what do you say we make?
100%.
What do you say we make this 11:57
100%.
February 20th?
What's the real
Bad.
difference?
I'd feel bad for my kid. Be like,
What's the difference?
Guys, you know tomorrow
It's really
is
not.
Day, not today, right?
Yes,
That's what
Phil.
we're
I was
saying.
making sure. I wasn't getting it from the conversation.
Fucking Meek.
He's
I love him, but he just
spoken.
shut out Lenny though. Lenny will be always in my head and my heart. Shut out Lenny.
Why?
I don't know. He just had a great spread,
Yeah, Lenny's got a great
but
spread.
he did his thing.
Me,
What do you
and
mean?
Lenny had a great
He,
spread.
he,
for the Super Bowl.
he snapped on the spread.
Super Bowl spread.
He went crazy.
This is weeks ago, boss.
You don't
Lenny
pay
who?
attention to nothing.
Yeah, his boy Lenny.
Oh.
I've kind of just mentioned
in the group
now
chat.
it's becoming like an on-running joke.
Got it.
I've mentioned the show a few times after too. Shout out
No,
Lenny.
I'm fascinated by
two,
Phil's
two,
life.
two huge heroes.
Fascinated.
Pretzel bites. He got chips. Everything.
Pretzel bites are underrated.
Phenomenal. He
A
had
buddy of mine wanted to open a pretzel bite place because he's like, that's the first thing that goes at parties.
Hey, and they
in the mall they
Did you
crush.
see that place?
What?
Like the Philadelphia.
That's what I'm
pretzel
saying.
place?
Philly pretzel.
Theirs, I don't like theirs though.
It's like it's because
It's got to be like Annie Ann's or pretzel.
Annie
Mix,
Ann's
no
is so
free
good.
ads. One of those. Are
Yeah, but they don't do the trays.
only Philadelphia pretzel.
They do the tray, and it's just
yeah,
as
but
good. A pretzel's a pretzel.
No, it's not. That's where you're wrong. No, it's not. It's not.
I agree.
I don't know.
It's like
Those
saying-
bites are
It's like saying like a burger's a burger. Like there's levels to things.
agreed, but I don't know. The trays, it's pretty good.
I'm sure you could cater from one of the.
I would love a tray for Sweet 16 Thursday.
Dude, I've ordered lunch from Annie Ann's once.
Like a dog.
I got.
It's insane.
I mean, back in me and Marty's early days, the old office, we were taking trips to Penn Station, Nathan's, some dirty, vile.
Bro, I don't hate if you
That shit was so
you
good.
have a certain
was
amount of
good.
cash in your wallet. You used to be able to get
Nuggets?
lunches under that. Yeah, I miss that Penn Station has gone back to whatever. I still say one of the most underrated burgers in the city is Papaya Dog.
I don't think you've ever had their burger.
That's the one.
This was
it's like
15 years ago. They had a guy. I was interning for the garden, and they had a guy in the morning who would stand out there and go 99-cent breakfast, 99 cents, and pitch people to get in. And you had it. It was like 2 eggs, a piece of toast, and a piece of bacon. It was not good, but it was 99 cents. Then he'd start at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. He'd be like $5.99 burger, fries, and a drink. $5.99 burger, fries, and a drink was unheard of, bro.
You had to go outside and a cookout tray.
Yeah.
Best bang for your buck in fast food. It's like $6 or $5. It's like you can get like literally like a double, like a legit like good. They're one of the best maybe the best cheeseburger in fast food actually. Like fries, nuggets. You get 2 sides, a large drink,
That's
and like
pretty good.
the sides are like a chicken wrap or like chicken nuggets. There's a bunch of options.
There's a burger in your backyard, and you just need to go still.
7th Street.
No, O'Neill's.
I thought you said I tried 7th Street. It was good.
O'Neill's is an unbelievable burger.
I'll have to. Yeah, I gotta give it a peep.
It's in the Boken.
Shut up, Hoboken Honcho.
Yeah. I mean, the $5 box at Taco Bell. I feel like you used to $5 foot long. Now everything's.
Yeah, $5 foot long was never a $5 foot long. That was always a sham. Shit out Subway, good spot.
Yeah.
That's another spot.
Subway's a good spot, but it's alwa's
got the same power.
yeah, it's a fun. It's a,
I had some place in the
$5
airport
foot
the
long
other
with
day
the
in Arkansas.
$9.
Lenny's sandwich plot wasn't bad.
Never heard of that.
Whatever. All right. Mel Kiper just dropped a new top 10 mock draft. Well, he dropped the whole draft, but he's got the top 10. Caleb Williams, number 1 to the Bears. Jaden Daniels.
Wait, really fast. Sorry. DraftKings took off where the landing spot of Justin Fields today. So people are speculating that
He's going somewhere.
he's going somewhere.
Makes sense.
I mean, Poles, their GM, like basically spoke about it publicly.
Yeah.
He basically just respectfully said like he's gonna get traded.
To where? Who? What do they think?
It's got to be the Falcons.
I think it's Falcons or Steelers. That's who
But now with the Falcons wouldn't have to give up 8, would they?
I don't think so. I think
No,
it'd be
they
like
said second round.
All right.
yeah, I think probably like early second rounder probably gets it done. Because the thing is you have to pay him, and I think that's the big kicker.
So what are the
Pay
Falcons'
him, or you have to
weapons?
pay him soon. Drake London,
So it would be Fields,
I-
London.
Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, and then Bijan.
Oh, see, that's the problem.
Bijan and
The
Algier.
guy I like for the Falcons is Bowers at 8. I just think you
if
go
they wanna
get.
You
go,
think he'd go that low?
He's going
Far,
going
not low,
10 in this.
sorry.
He's going 10 in
I've
this
seen
one.
They're
I thought he
saying
was going higher.
they're,
Yeah,
say,
because I think because of the injury.
they're saying it. I've seen him go as low as like 15 in some mocks.
Really?
Yeah, like the Colts is 15. I've never seen him go farther than that. I mean, I know Warren. We actually talked about. I was talking with Smitty about it a little bit yesterday. Warren Sharp posted like a this video of Ritter of like just how atrocious he is.
Yeah.
And it's just all his picks are so bad in close games. Because how it came up was I was saying Dukes brought up like put up all the NFL futures like what's like a long shot team that you could see like maybe like pre-making a move that could be good. And I was like I think the Falcons were like 70-1, and I was like I think the upgrade from Ritter to Fields would be just astronomical. I don't think people would realize how big of an upgrade that would be.
And that division still sucks.
Yes.
And the division's bad.
The division sucks balls. Like I'll give you credit. Baker Mayfield played out, but I still don't think the Bucks are like that great.
They were
That
another,
division's for the taking. I also think the Panthers are so bad that that's 2. I think the Saints. I love them. The Saints can't get out of their own way.
and they're tied
Bucks,
to
the
car.
Bucks could-
I said the Bucks were the other team I brought up that I was like I think they could be in a spot where or the Falcons were $35 or 70. If I said on the condition if they re-sign Evans and Baker, they could still be like a
Definitely.
they could I don't know how much money they're gonna have after that if they can even really feasibly do that, but if they can,
I don't think they're going to give Baker that much.
he's gonna still need like $30 million a year though.
Really?
And I think I just don't see how
he's
the
not-
season he had. How could he like get denied that? Basically,
He's getting more than 30.
I think so too. I think that's on the low end. But I was saying yesterday, I could see a world where someone throws like a stupid number like that at Evans. And when I say stupid, I mean just high. Like Evans is unbelievable. But imagine like at Panthers that have like just like a crazy amount of cap space, and they want to get a receiver for Young. Like does Evans take like this just astronomical number because he's like in his 30s and this is probably his last big contract?
I think he takes whatever I think the Bucks and him are like respectfully gonna just get a deal done.
But I hope so for his sake. But the thing is, are they gonna? If the gap is like $5-10 million a year, like he's not gonna leave that much money on the table for like his last big contract.
It's just I feel it's his last He's probably like his family is obviously all settled into Tampa and shit.
I'm sure he'd love to stay
Wow.
there, but Charlotte's not crazy far away.
No, I know.
They offer, but the situation's obviously way worse for him to play.
Yeah,
But if he just wants to take like basically the highest bidder,
yeah,
I think that's a real option.
yeah. Keep going. With
Interesting tidbit. I just wanted to point out, Bears are actually higher. Wait, that's fucked me up. Plus 3,000. When the Falcons are plus 3,500.
The Bears are like
They played way
Getting-
better. Their defense got a lot better, and they have a shit ton of money,
and DJ
and they won't have to
Moore's
spend it on a
gonna-
quarterback.
It sounds like they need to really figure out their line.
I think that's what they're going to do. I think they have 1 and 9, so they're going to draft Caleb Williams. At 9, they can go tackle, receiver, somebody like just add somebody else. And then they have so much money. They can basically spend all the money on defense.
I think Caleb Williams and the Bears is either going to be like a holy shit, this was amazing, or a holy shit, something went wrong.
just
I don't think
no,
there's
like,
anything in between at all.
No, like he's all right. Like he's good, but not
Yeah,
great.
I think it's like this guy is a superstar, or it's like they have some turmoil and some shit just doesn't work out.
But see, I could see it being a little bit, and I could see him kind of being in the middle where he's like talented, but he's like diva-ish.
Yeah.
I could see that from him.
The funniest thing, so last year, right, we saw Anthony Richardson stock fly up
Yeah.
out of nowhere, right? We're like, is that true? And I fell into it. I feel like all I'm hearing is Drake May is going down. I feel like everyone's talking shit about Drake May now. His arm strength, like that he's not like when you watch tape on him, he's just really not that good. Like I feel like he's like Jaden Daniels going up, May down, and then like JJ McCarthy's going up too.
No, I think it's fair to say JJ's skyrocketing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but he's not in this top 10. So
He's gonna be. I think he's definitely gonna be the fourth quarterback, whatever order that is. I think people are overacting the Drake May thing just because Merrill Hodge doesn't like him, and because of the Manziel clip. Now Merrill Hodge has become like the internet quarterback guru. When like he's probably been wrong. He's been right a lot. Like he said a lot of quarterbacks are bad.
Yeah.
He's been right about that. But I saw some screenshots. The year the Tua, Herbert, somebody else was in that draft too. That was decent. He said like Easton was better than like all those guys. Like it's not like he's just like always right.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Last year he said Stroud was the only first round worthy quarterback.
It wasn't just. I think like I even saw like I know these aren't all always like Kurt Benkert would also like
I don't like that guy.
I don't know anything about him. Really.
He followed me and then unfollowed me on Twitter, so I don't like her.
Yeah, I fucking hate him.
I don't care what he says.
Malasek also likes because he's a UVA guy, so like that turns me off.
It's if he had never unfollowed me, he'd be like my best friend. He unfollowed me like he's dead to me.
He was always nice to me, so I
thought he was nice to me too. We had, and then he blew up on Twitch and just randomly unfollowed me at some point.
You know what? I'm actually gonna look if he follows me still. If he doesn't, I'll be on your side.
But Drake, because I saw Tim Hasselbeck was talking about it a little bit.
Fuck him.
Yeah,
He unfollowed me.
Yeah, he thinks he's like a clout guy now because he like Twitches, he streams
What's this
Twitches or
guy's
whatever. He was like a fifth string quarterback for the Packers at one point.
what's his name? Kirk.
He's a wannabe Ben DiNucci.
Benkert.
Yeah, Ben DiNucci's the man. Shut up.
It was
Ben.
like
He's a wannabe Ben DiNucci.
it was
I
the-
mean
the
to trash the
backup
guy. I was
for the
breaking
Packers.
balls. Now we're trashing him, but
It's fun.
yeah, he said whatever. The guy was bad. I think it was Merrill Hodge said he was like basically said Drake May like wasn't athletic and all this stuff, and I kind of was like, I don't know where that's coming from. I watch him. He's definitely very athletic. If you don't think he's going to be a good quarterback, that's fine. But I thought he was saying some things that I was like, respectfully, Merrill Hodge, how much have you watched him?
Yeah.
Because I watch a good amount, and he's definitely, you can say whatever. Athletic would not be something I would like say is like a hindrance of his performance.
Bosco, do the
Kurt Banker NFL.
He's
He's still
Ben
alive.
Kurt.
Virginia quarterback.
Kurt and Kurt.
It's not. It's
Packers quarterback.
he just was. Yeah, he was like a third string guy for a couple years in the league, and then I do remember.
Well, it's Kirk like a dildo. It's
At Virginia.
KURK.
And then he like streams.
never
He streams Madden, I think, or whatever video games and shit.
Whatever.
I have a question for Ev. As someone that has lost to JJ McCarthy 3 times, what's
Twice,
the best
go ahead.
NFL fit for him?
I mean, I think he should be in a spot where he's like not asked to start like immediately, because I've already been accepting the mental aspect of him just becoming the Giants quarterback. I've been starting to just like try to reverse manifest it. Even I just feel like it's the way like the stars align at Barstool and shit. Something like that would happen. I like him way better than Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is just bad. I wouldn't draft him. Or late.
I like Bo.
That's what he's a screen merchant.
What does that mean?
Like half his passes are screens. Like that guy's not gonna work. That guy doesn't know how to read defenses. He doesn't his job is made so easy for him due to the system. I just don't think I'd rather have Penix.
They do run better
I
plays.
like Penix. I like Penix over him, and I'm not like even crazy about Penix.
I don't like either.
So it's Bears Caleb Williams, Washington Jaden Daniels, Pats Drake May, Cardinals Harrison,
That's like the lock of the draft to me, unless the Patriots take him.
Chargers take J.C. Latham, an offensive tackle out of Bama.
He's been skyrocketing.
The Giants are going to take I'm definitely going to say his name wrong. Adunze, the
Roma Dunze.
wide receiver from Washington.
I'm in on dude.
Titans.
They're neighbors. I'm good with it.
Titans take Joe Alt, offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Falcons take Dallas Turner, an outside linebacker from Bama. The Bears take Malik Neighbors, wide receiver from LSU. And the Jets take Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia. So if you're the Bears, I guess the most fascinating one because I have 2, obviously. Wouldn't you roll the dice the way the league is going, that Kelsey's dominant, and you watched Gronk dominate forever? Like a really good tight end?
They have one.
Yeah.
Who do the Bears
Cole
have?
Kmet.
Komet's
Really good.
I didn't realize he was as
definitely-
elite as...
I would definitely say he's like a top 10 tight end.
All right.
And like young and getting better. Like he became basically, outside of Moore, he was Fields' like favorite. Definitely like big red zone target. He's like,
Yeah, but he's not going to be with Fields anymore, so I guess
yeah, but
the
he's
youth-
but
Yeah.
you want him for somebody. Like he'd be great for Williams too, or whoever
Yeah.
like quarterback.
Dukes, how do you feel about this? You don't draft a quarterback.
Love it.
You draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and get and bring in a veteran.
Yeah, I'm on the record.
You said that?
Draft the best. No, just draft the best player. Like we were talking yesterday. So I'm like, I don't care if we get Jacoby Brissett. I don't care if we get like Gardner Minshew. Like I don't really care if we have like a settled quarterback who can like get us a couple wins and like have like a rookie like sit behind him. Like if that's what we have to do this year, like I do not care.
I'm fully convinced Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be one like top 3 receiver in like NFL history.
And if you could get,
I think he's that good.
And if you could get a
Very
haul for
good.
him too, like if somebody really wants a quarterback, or if you're not like sold on Drake May, and you're like, okay, Marvin Harrison Jr. is great, but we like Neighbors just as much, and we could trade down to 7.
That's fine.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. I just like, I just think that just you gotta. Marvin Harrison Jr. is so good to me.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to take him when you can.
I really think the top 3 receivers are like elite this year. Like Neighbors and Adunze. Like I really think all 3 are like legit guys. I think all 3 are going to be like immediate impact. Almost like when I say can't miss, I mean like they're going to be at minimum just like solid, like good NFL receivers, like starters.
Why are we so quick to write off Mac Jones, who has had the least amount of help of any quarterback in the last 2 or 3 years?
I think he needs a fresh start.
Yeah.
I think he can be
fine.
decent. I just think his ceiling's limited, but I think he can be like a solid starting quarterback.
I'm not even gonna get into it, but yeah.
Because that's what we
he
do.
needs
That's
to
what we
go
do. A
somewhere
guy
else.
gets no help. He's running for his life. Team's not that good. He's got no weapons. You give him 2 years, 3, and it's like, all right,
That's-
pull the plug. Like, that's
can't-
just
People think Bryce Young's like the worst quarterback of all time, and like he obviously it's
he
because
didn't help himself, but yeah.
He might be.
Well, I don't know if he is though. Like his team was horrible.
One of the worst situations
Like
I
Stroud
can like
was just so
remember.
good, but like if you just even took Stroud out, like that team is really, really, really bad. And I don't know how could have he helped himself. Stroud's not taking that team to a playoff.
No, I've said that. I don't
any
think
team is.
I've said I don't think Mahomes takes that team to the playoffs.
It'd be
Like, they're
questionable.
just atrocious.
Great hypothetical.
Truly atrocious.
That's a good hypothetical.
That's a great
I
hypothetical.
really don't think so. They were that bad. Like the offensive line is horrible.
Yeah.
Defense bad. Weapons not good. Just not good at all.
Adam Thielen was their best receiver.
Because you can say like
I still think Adam Thielen's top 5 just because how good he was in fantasy. Like he's just the fucking best.
it was for like the first half of the season.
I'll still put Adam Thielen.
And then the second half he didn't do shit. Like
Top
they
fucking
drafted a few guys that like Mingo like didn't really do anything. I think but they did bring in Cornales, who's like the quarterback like guru. So I mean, I think that was the right hire considering like you're clearly all in on Bryce Young. You don't even have a first round pick this year.
Yeah.
Like he has to work, or you're just set back, another 5 years again.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Giants are in a position where we need that wide receiver to work. We better guess right on that.
No, that's what
We got nothing. Like,
that's why
there's no
I want them to
playmakers.
go receiver
None.
because I
Honestly,
really
though-
believe the 3 like it's guaranteed one of those 3 are gonna be there. Probably 2 of them will be there most likely.
Even if he's just like okay, that's good for us right now.
Dunze or Neighbors, I really think are
Like
studs.
I
and they
would
will.
rather them be elite and studs, but like we need anybody.
Like a
Is there anybody on the market that's like a veteran that could make a bump that we'd be looking
I
at
think-
as
I think-
well?
I
Like, I
think
just think you need
I think
playmakers.
they'd be too rich for us, like financially.
Yeah, like Justin Jefferson's not. We're not going to get him.
Like we're in a spot to draft like an elite playmaker. Like this is like when you do it. And I think we have picked like 38 or something like that, and then like 47 or something in like 2 in that range. I think this class is deep with 2 positions: tackle, really just offensive like tackle, guard, and receiver.
And quarterback.
Cool. Yeah, but I would say, true.
Top heavy a quarterback.
top heavy. But I would say like we have such an opportunity to fill both those spots with those 3 picks.
Yeah.
And listen, if they want to use this 2 second rounders, if they love like McCarthy or they love Penix and they want to trade like in the back end of the first round and take one of those guys, I'm not opposed to that. But I think they should go like playmaker receiver the first pick, and then at least one of those next like those 2 second rounders on like a good tackle. And either you kick Evan Neal in the guard, or like you make them play one of them. You draft a guard. Like that's got to get figured out too.
Who's Daniels going to?
Sounds like
Washington.
the Commanders probably.
Gene Daniels goes
Such
to
a
2.
weird
I want
thing
to trade
that the
up to 3.
Commanders are going to trade up to 1. And
I don't think the Bears will. I think because if you love Williams like that, there's no.
It sounds like they love him too, so they won't do it.
Do you guys think there's anything to be said about like if you have DJ Moore fighting for Justin Fields and you have all these players in the locker room that are like vouching for Justin Fields, that coming in Caleb Williams, it kind of has potential to add
100%.
diversion to the locker room? Or
Yes.
what's your opinion on that? Or are they just professionals?
So I think this.
But
I
also
remember.
management doesn't give a fuck. They'll just be like.
I'm not saying like I think it's the right move.
Do you remember the same exact thing happened? And there's a big discrepancy who I'm about to say in Justin Fields, but the same exact thing happened. I remember with Tom Savage and DeAndre Hopkins. I know Meek's a deep internet guy. He remembers that. And they were like, and they drafted Deshaun Watson. And Hopkins was just riding for his guy. He was like, not like Tom Savage. Like, I believe in him.
Yeah.
He's a real guy. And then, like, Watson steps over 2 seconds. And he's like, Watson's my guy.
Yeah.
Like, that'll change real quick when you see like that guy on the practice field. And he's way better. Yeah, like, I think it just shows his loyalty to Fields, which I think anyone should be able to respect. But, like, once Fields is gone, Moore's still got to play ball. Like, he's not going to just, like, take his ball and go home. He's going to show up.
Everything.
And then all of a sudden, Williams throws him a few touchdown passes. Makes a few flashes in practice in preseason. And he's like, oh, like, I love Caleb Williams, love playing with him. It'll switch like that.
Yeah, but it sets you up. Like, I mean, I don't think older offensive linemen, I don't think older running backs or wide receivers love rookie quarterback. Like, there is a growing period.
Sure,
of that.
for
Like
sure,
the kid, Williams better come in and nail it. I mean, that goes without saying. He's the number one pick, but like,
yeah.
now it's even more pressure.
Where it's the Bears are in such a situation financially and everything is like, why the fuck would you pay Justin Fields when there's even a little bit of a question mark? I understand Justin Fields still, his ceiling is like still very high. He's shown flashes. Why would you pay a guy that you have any questions about when you could just start fresh for another 5 years?
No, it's true. The financial aspect of it is so big where they know they're going to have to pay Fields almost the amount of money like per year, maybe a little bit less, than they'd be paying Williams for like the next like 4 years.
Like, and
you have to, and like you said, they have so much money to spend, especially on defense, and they have the number 1 and 9 pick. You just get your quarterback, you get that other receiver or playmaker, or if you want to go like tackle even at 9, like you can do that too. It's a tackle-rich draft.
He hasn't shown like where it's like we need this guy.
I understand being hesitant to commit to him like long term. And make the big financial commitment when you have the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And people are saying there's this like a potential like generational type talent is like there skill set wise. You almost have no choice.
Even though they would get so much back from trading the first pick this year.
They would for sure, but you just have to.
It's also like, why would?
But then they just have to like pay Fields basically after this season.
There's also a reason why they'd get so much because this guy's so
exactly.
Bosco, you were asking about free agent wide receivers. So like I found a list for you.
Also, I think this, like, we have the opportunity at the Giants. Like, we need it, but I don't know how much they're going to pay. But you know who else needs wide receivers, if you ask me? The Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Still.
But
Like, I still think the Chiefs need.
But their problem is, they have to pay someone. Like they just tag Snead. They're gonna have to pay Chris Jones like $30 million a year. Which is going to be, which they said is like now basically them tagging Snead. They're saying like paying Chris Jones like their priority, and they just won a Super Bowl without him. I think they go draft. It's a rich receiver draft.
Yeah,
you take a receiver like the back end of the first.
But it's that same thing. Like, I don't think they'll get T. Higgins. He's probably too rich. But like, give me the 5th guy on this list.
Higgins got tagged anyway.
Michael Pittman, I think, is going to be.
Pittman's going to be like almost a 15-year plus $1 million a year guy.
Right. Like, give me a guy a little bit down the list who's like can make an impact. And then just sign him for a 1-year deal. Like the Chiefs should be 1-year machines.
This is a guy that I actually want the Patriots to retain, but I think
who else is on that list?
Well, number 11, Kendrick Bourne.
Okay.
I think he's a great wide receiver. I want the Patriots to get he's a free agent that's leaving the Patriots that I want them to get bad, but I think he's someone that he's coming off an injury. Could maybe get him at like a discount for the Chiefs. I could see them kind of making a run at him.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Be like, we think you're a multi-year, like multi-million-dollar guy, and you're probably going to get that on the market. Like, kill it with us. Let Mahomes make you look like a star for 1 year, and then you're going to go get your money. Like, we don't need you Yeah, it's a hard sell because they want the
Yeah.
money, in the multi-year deal now. But
they definitely need wide receivers. They dropped
these men.
MBS today, they
MBS,
cut
they
for
saved
cap space.
$12 million on him, which is nice.
Darnell Mooney's like the range that like Gabe Davis,
Also,
Mooney,
the
those like
Gabe Davis would be a good that
those are
guy's
the kind of
proven.
guys,
Yeah.
Ridley's intriguing, I think.
really not
Chiefs
too much
also
money. I
still
think for them.
Not saying this.
Also, Gabe Davis steals. They should be trying to steal guys in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm not saying this guy's going to be great, but like Justin Ross was hurt this year, and like he's on the Chiefs still. Like, he's a rookie. He was a rookie this year, right?
He had the injury. He was weird. He was really good as a freshman, and kind of just was like not really a
It's
The kid from Clemson, right?
Yeah.
How he's going to be, but he's still on the team.
I remember he had that insane bowl game against like Notre Dame.
He also had a really
Yes.
good preseason where everyone this year was like kind of like
Yeah.
a fantasy, like
ML
as a
football
sleeper.
loved him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
he did make a bunch of catches in like the practice and stuff like that.
To make this about the Patriots, I'm fine with the Chiefs getting the Patriots comparisons, right? But I think that if they really want to get those comparisons locked up, they got to get a washed-up receiver like OBJ. Like they have to try to like get someone to come in and
I
that.
think he's too washed up.
Yeah, but like okay, Chad Ochocinco on the Patriots,
Yeah.
Fred Taylor on the Patriots,
Yeah.
Steven Jack. Like you got to get
Honestly,
some
though,
washed-up guys.
Odell could work on the Chiefs. Like he doesn't.
Who's
have,
9
you
and
don't
10.
have to be elite anymore.
I agree. Maury, I kind of agree. I think.
Yeah,
he
but you
should
got to be
go.
able to make it through the 16 games.
He did this year.
And he's in ring chase season.
Who's 9 and 10?
Tyler Boyd.
Boyd would be
I like Boyd. Like he's
honestly,
proven.
Samuel Randy Reed would use Samuel very well. Samuel would be low key a good one. Bourne, I agree with Dukes. He would be like a solid low key one. Shark's a guy that all of a sudden would go for like 1,000 yards with Mahomes.
Well, Michael Thomas would just.
Perfect name.
Michael Thomas would.
Michael Thomas. No, Michael
He
Thomas.
would love football again and just.
That's the
start.
perfect name. And then he would go get multi-millions somewhere else. Like Michael Thomas is the name I'm thinking about.
all these guys
If
at the
Michael
end.
Thomas got multi-millions again, I would be shocked.
It would be funny. Just a
Can't-
1 year
of all the
deal,
quarterback, who
and-
can make a guy turn into multi-millions? It's Mahomes.
You
and
know what
Reed.
the better chance is? Nick Westbrook Akine. Like that's a guy that Mahomes makes millions.
That's actually very true. DeMarcus.
KJ Osborne. Like the second half of this list, I'm like, yeah, like they'd be a star with Mahomes. Every single one of them.
Every
Like,
single
Mahomes is
guy.
I mean, Noah Brown, like CJ Stroud turned it. He was just a guy. And
Every
he-
guy, I'm like, man.
I watched him have like 180-yard games this season.
Yeah.
Fucking Stroud.
We were going about talking about wide receivers in the draft, and obviously the Chiefs could get people, but there was a stat out there about how bad Big 12 wide receivers are going to the NFL.
Really?
Oh, awful. Who's the guy on the Chargers?
Oh, well, that makes sense because I loved every Oklahoma State wide
Quentin
receiver ever.
Johnson.
Yes,
Johnson.
Quentin
I thought
that was-
I thought Blackman was going to break Jerry Rice's records in like 3
I thought
years.
Blackman was going to be the best wide receiver of all. Was he? It was Jaguars, right?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
He was really
He was.
fucking good.
There are some other guys. Give me Oklahoma State's like leading wide receivers each year, and I'll tell you, there's definitely a few others that I forget that were like, yeah, Oklahoma wide receivers
was
seem
good-
to be
he
better
was good
than we
early.
thought.
I mean, yeah, Oklahoma ones have been good. Like CeeDee Lamb's a fucking.
Oh, the other two fit into this too. Stedman Bailey and Tavon Austin. I thought were gonna break fucking at West Virginia.
awesome.
Corey Coleman.
I thought those two. Those two were West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
I thought those two were gonna break records.
Corey Coleman was a total bust. He was a Baylor guy.
Yeah,
Justin Blackman.
I said him. That was the guy I loved.
He was good early. He was more like an off the field menace. I feel like than he was just like not a good football player.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think he was more of like a bad guy.
Like even I know this is just like for personal, but like Tyquan Thornton ran like a 4.240, and he just can't run a route.
You want to know who I thought was going to
Well,
be
has
good?
Sterling Shepard like lived up to?
He was good early. He just was always injured. He was
Yeah.
like a good player early on.
You know who would be really funny for the Chiefs? Braxton Berrios.
Oh yeah.
Who I thought was going to be
They
good.
just load the box. That box.
Fucking, Laquan Treadwell.
You imagine that? Brittany would be like, another one? She's just dropping in the batting order. It'd be Brittany. It'd be Taylor. It'd be Blake Lively. I don't even know why she's there. She's not dating anybody. Alex Earl. Who else?
Braxton also would
It'd be a
like.
fucking
Braxton would like be good with Mahomes too. Like he would be perfect for the slot.
In the slot.
That'd
yeah.
be a fucking scene.
Just go with fucking McCole Hardman.
One more Big 12 wide receiver. Sorry, Corey Coleman.
I said Corey Coleman.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was late.
Ultimate plus.
Yeah.
Treadwell was an Ole Miss guy. I thought Treadwell was going to be like a stud, and he just was not at all. He's too slow. He
Jakeem
ran a slow
Grant,
40.
Texas Tech. He always had 97 speed in Madden.
Who?
Absolute cheat code. Jakeem Grant.
Ah,
Dolphins
yes.
guy.
He's a great kick returner. Very good, like, punt kick returner, though.
Oh,
Do you think GMs or teams look at that?
What?
Like, it's not fair to say no. Like
12.
that. Yeah, hey, the Big 12 just hasn't had good.
I would imagine they're still judging guys pretty individually.
agreed, but
As much as you can sit there and say, like I said, CD Lamb's like one of the best receivers in the NFL. Big 12 guy.
yeah, but if you're leaning between, would you be like, you know what, we're going away from the Big 12? I don't hate that. I mean, there is evidence.
I don't think that.
Like
should
you
be,
said,
like,
everyone should be like evaluated equally, but individually. But sometimes I don't know, man. There's something there. I know Clemmer doesn't believe in like the stereotypes and stuff like that, but like sometimes it's just true.
But see, I think that's not less stereotype and more just like true like development. I think it's development mixed with the Big 12, especially for like a long period of time, playing such a soft defense. Like you're not seeing a lot of like not a lot of like tough like man coverage, man physical corners and stuff like that. And I feel like those aspects are probably like your releases are so much more free and easy in the Big 12 as they are when you all of a sudden you have fucking like Legarius Sneed like in your face at the fucking line of scrimmage, just like smoking you in the chest, like right getting off the ball.
Yeah.
Different.
College basketball, 2 conference things I want to talk about real quick. We had a guy call in yesterday, Healthy Debate. I thought it was pretty good. He was looking at Auburn at 5-1, I believe. I think it may have dropped a little bit now. But if you look at the SEC to win that conference, I'll give you the standings right now.
To win regular season, obviously.
Win the regular season, yeah, to win the regular season. So let's get it.
I have Auburn for the championship.
All right, but it's not a bad bet. So Tennessee right now is 11-3, and Bama is 11-3. Dead tie. They split the race. We'll find out what happens Saturday with those two.
And Auburn goes to Tennessee tonight.
So that's where
That's
it's
another
at.
big one as
so
well.
South Carolina's 10-4, and Auburn is 10-4. What did Auburn do against South Carolina? I guess is the question.
South Carolina's a team this year that I have not believed in, and they keep proving me wrong.
I think A&M.
Yeah, but they're the perfect
That's a
perfect
They're-
fade in the
they're-
tournament.
they're like
South Carolina's
they're 5-point
destined for a
favorites.
fucking 8 line in the tournament.
yeah.
And that is like dead. And I
lose
don't think you could beat a 1.
It's tough.
So it's like, and it's no disrespect. Like Lamont Paris is on National Coach of the Year award.
See, but I also think they kind of remind me of Providence a couple of years ago, where people just keep trying to write them off and being like, oh, you know, Providence.
Yeah, but
they're 27-6, but like they're the luckiest team in the country, and it's.
But that doesn't mean they're national caliber. You know what I mean? Like you could have I think
Providence-
this time of year you need to group teams into have a nice season and national. And there's 2 different things.
Okay, I do disagree with that though, because that same exact year, everybody picked South Dakota State to beat Providence in the first round. Providence
That's true.
won that
I did
game.
as well.
I think they were also like underdogs in that game, and then they lost to Kansas, and probably gave to Kansas
The closest run in the
closest
championship game.
yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, that was in the second round.
In the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
Sweet 16. So yeah, that was cool. That was their best job. Yeah, but agreed. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's,
I just think that like sometimes like those storylines, like the ones that are like sometimes seem like easy to fade, they have nothing to lose.
so South Carolina lost to Auburn by 40. So and now Auburn split with Alabama as well. So if Auburn takes care of Tennessee tonight, you'd be looking.
They're
at,
6.5-point dogs.
I know. Hey, just
I was
agreed.
saying
Yeah.
people, it's gambling.
So if Tennessee loses, Tennessee would be 11-4. Bama against Tennessee Saturday, you can go one way or the other. So Tennessee could be looking at 5 losses. Bama could be looking at a 4th loss there. Auburn at 5-1, I think. Long story short, the rest of their way, and it is difficult, but Bama's got a much more like Ole Miss tonight. Bama at Ole Miss, that's a tough one.
I like Ole Miss.
Auburn goes at Tennessee, Mississippi State, at Missouri versus Georgia. It's pretty manageable aside from that first one. Mississippi State's going to be kind of a bitch. Bama goes at Ole Miss, Tennessee, at Florida, Arkansas. And that game's going to be difficult. Granted, it's senior night at Bama, Arkansas, but a lot of bad blood there. I think Arkansas will at least
Let me ask you a
– it
question.
won't roll over. Sorry, let me give you this one. South Carolina goes at Texas A&M, Florida, Tennessee, at Mississippi State. So if you ask me,
tough.
South Carolina has the worst schedule of the 4.
That was definitely the toughest, the last one.
They have the worst, yeah. So we did Auburn, and Kentucky's still kind of lurking with the 5 losses. They go at they go Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and at Tennessee, but they already have the 5 losses. So I think Auburn at that 5-1 makes sense. I didn't hate the guys' rationale.
Especially if they can somehow pull it off tonight, that'd be obviously massive.
Massive. But like they are like plus 500 tonight almost. No, not like not legitimately,
No, they're
but like
probably like 180.
yeah. But if you
200 maybe tops.
yeah, I was gonna say 200, but then you have to like you parlay the next 3 games too that you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Like
as an Alabama fan, I'm not trolling. I'm saying, is it frustrating where it's like they can shoot the lights out, but when the defense is just like that Kentucky game? I bet Bama, and I was just like, I also bet the under, so that wasn't good. But because I was like, it's too obvious, And then, but I'm watching. I'm like, they still scored 5 points, but their defense was just like it. It was just nothing.
Yeah, I think there's a couple like when we kind of fell in love with that team was 2021 with Herb Jones and Primo and Petty.
Quinterly.
Was it Petty? Yeah, John Petty, right?
Yeah, and Quinterly.
Yeah, and Quinterly was down that option, and Shackelford still on that team. They had a lot of guys, but Herb Jones and Petty were fucking animals defensively, and still could go score. I think they've lacked the shutdown defender this year. And Oates is open about it too. He's like, we got to play better defense.
100%.
And I think Sam Walters he said it in the quotes too. Like, I like Walters. I said Walters was going to have a big game going in, and then he had that big game against Florida.
Yeah.
When he had that really, I think he's progressed. You need a guy like that to move up in the tournament. But they don't have it, and I like Grant Nelson. I think he's moved up. But Grant Nelson's kind of covering guys' fives. He should be the 4.
So
the guy who really fucked it was Bediako.
Yeah.
Bediako got bad advice. Bediako leaves. Bediako would be a true rim protector. He can run the floor. And now you move Nelson to the 4, and he's a nightmare matchup as a 4 because he's stretching guys out. And Bediako's a true rim protector. That's where it's at. So yes, I think the wing guards have not been elite defensively. I mean, they're 97th on KenPom defensively. So that's but they shoot the lights out, and they don't have a lot of bad. They don't have really any bad losses. The bad loss to Ohio State was early in the year. You got to give them that.
LSU.
They didn't lose to LSU.
I'm looking at Kentucky. Sorry. Same team.
Clemson was an okay loss. That was early in the year. I think Bama is one of the teams I'd be most confident in to get to the Sweet 16, and then from there you're kind of playing with house money of what they've looked at, close against Purdue, lost to Arizona, close against Creighton. They're kind of right there.
They're just a team, obviously they're talented. They're just so, which, I mean, you can say this about a lot of teams, but they're just so specifically, matchup based, where, they just live and die by the 3 so much that you don't play defense. It's just obviously you could say any team in the tournament is going to be, about their draw, but they're a team where if they just draw that, wrong team that, is able to slow it down and make an ugly game, that is just not what they want to do. If they find a team that wants to get a track meet, they'll win that a lot, especially against the mid majors and teams.
Yeah, it all depends on draw. I agree. Yeah, and there's a lot of pesky 6 seed. I think St. Mary's could be one of those teams.
We've seen teams live and die by the 3 and make deep runs.
Yes,
we've seen Miami.
Well, here's the thing, okay, and you track this. I was a big guy of you can't shoot too many threes, and the data backs it up. I think you can't shoot a lot of threes and also have a horrific percentage. And that's what Nova was that year. It wasn't a great percentage. There are a few that you can call unicorns. Over 40% 3-point attempts in terms of 3-point rate and close to 40% 3-point rate. You know who one of those teams was? Oklahoma with Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
They were a unicorn. There's a few of these teams that do it. Bama is unicorn type. They're shooting about 38% from 3. I'd like to see that increase a little bit more to get there, but that's pretty hard to do.
That's a high percentage.
When about half of your attempts are threes. So they're a unicorn type thing. Now, could their defense derail them? Absolutely.
Well, that's what's going to derail them, or if they're cold from 3. But I compared them. Duke's better defensively, but Kyle Filipowski is the 5. He's not a 5. He's getting torched by these big men, and that's the same thing I'm seeing Kentucky. Their big men were torching Alabama, and they also shot really well, but it's just that. For some reason, the NBA, if you got the big guy, obviously is just kind of they're shooting threes and shit now at college. The big guy is so important, and
they're very experienced.
You want to know who
Flacco is inexperienced. Diabate, you can't keep him on the floor.
You want to know who I think is built to make a March run? Baylor.
I've said Baylor for a couple of weeks.
The way they are constructed, I think they're a team they have some really good young talent, veteran guards, big man who's a lottery pick. Meese, they have.
He's a beast. Dude, I watched him against Duke. He was good.
Dude, Jacoby Walter is a fucking bucket.
He's the best. They shoot a really high percentage.
They shoot high percentage and high volume 3. They are very efficient. They're one of the. I think they're a top 5, 10 3-point shooting team in the country, and I think they have all the pieces of a team that I could see being like a 4 or 5 seed. And
Is
then
the
making,
Max
like, a
slept
deep
on?
run.
Is the Max slept on in terms of guards? Because you got Mark Sears, who's on Naismith watches or should be on Naismith watches.
Ray J.
Ray J. Dennis from Toledo. Like I watched some of these. Kent State had some good guards. The Mac seems like a little slept on. I like watching them on Friday nights.
And I also just like we've talked about last few years, like a team like Baylor where playing in the Big 12, they're so battle tested.
Yeah.
Like we've seen them they just had a big win at Kansas State? No, TCU. They had a game where they went to OT at Houston, like and lost in OT, but they like gave them everything they could handle. Like I think that's a tough to go to Houston and do that. Just the way they're constructed, the way they play, they're obviously incredibly well coached. Like I think they have all the makeup entirely of a team that's like a 4 or 5 seed that I could see in the Final Four. That wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
Something really quick. Going off Bama, I think that the Rick Pitino comments actually go for Bama. They just didn't they legitimately just don't have guys that can move laterally. They got guys that were really good from probably under recruited because they weren't good defense. Like even Sears, he's not the worst defender on the team, but you got Sears.
Right.
You got Estrada, who comes from a high-powered
Hofstra.
offense at Hofstra. Then you got Grant Nelson from North Dakota State. Great offensive players, but again, I think that them and Kentucky could have Final Four runs, but they're gonna have to legitimately I know they're gonna have to score more points than their opponent,
Agreed.
obviously, but outshoot the shit out of the ball. They can't have one off game.
Nope.
They can't have one off game. The other thing that I was gonna say, the net rankings. Did you guys see what Scott Van?
Well,
Pelt
let me
said? Did you see this?
let me touch on this other conference real quick because it's shorter.
Yeah.
I think this conference gets a bad rap every year in terms of people being like, can't win in the tournament. They don't send enough teams. Are their teams that good? This and that. I think the Mountain West is a very, very respectable conference and has been for the last 10 years.
I knew
going back
that's
to
what
You
were
really
gonna
don't
say.
win in the tournament.
Yeah, it's tough.
they bucked it last year when they had a team playing for the national championship last year.
Yeah, but they
Agreed.
always get
But my
six.
other
Didn't he
point
was-
is
didn't he
this.
was
No,
saying
but
it's kinda
it's,
like the
it's
conference
more so
outlier a
this.
little bit.
Here's what I've seen down the stretch in this conference, and maybe that's the problem. They eat each other alive. Like New Mexico's back on the bubble now. They hurt each other. Like San Diego State will beat Utah State will beat Nevada will beat New Mexico will beat Utah State, and they all just go over a course of 5 games. They all go 500.
Doesn't mean that they're
That's-
mid.
No, I think it's a difficult conference, but it doesn't help them all in the bubble. You get what I'm saying? A team
I
they
know.
were looking at 6, and it's like, oh well, New Mexico took 2 losses. They're 2 good losses. It's tough, but they drop, and now they're on the bubble. Colorado State falls down. Like all these teams that were ranked take beatings in the conference, and they don't get the benefit of the doubt. And at the end of the day, we might only have 3 of them in the tournament. Whereas like the Big 12, don't get me wrong, Kansas shouldn't be on the bubble, but Kansas is taking a loss every other night in the fucking Big 12.
Oh.
You know? The Mountain West is not going to get that respect, and they end up hurting themselves and send less teams to the tournament.
Something's going weird with
Listen,
McCullough.
this Kansas team is just not. They're just not.
They're just not deep.
in the last
Is the
few-
problem.
yeah.
I guarantee that.
They lose.
Who's out for them? McCall.
McCall-
yeah.
and
They need
That's
him.
obviously-
huge.
That's the
That's
problem.
there's number one
But
score.
still, you
Yeah,
can't be
that's the problem.
blowing. You can't be blowing 12-point leads deep in the second half. I think BYU is actually pretty good, but BYU is a weird team that I think
Very weird. How many games has Mark Pope won in the tournament?
They can make a weird run.
How many games has he coached in the tournament? 0. There's a lot of guys. Now, you tell me BYU is pesky, 100%. But I think
They're a team. I like the way they're built. They have a great big man. That Khalifa kid's really good. They got a bunch of shooters. They're a team if
they run great shit.
I think they have good guard play. They have good guards. They can shoot the ball, and they have a legit big man who's big, physical, nice touch around the rim. Another team that I think is constructed to. They can make a run as well.
They
They're
run.
a team I can see being a 7. That all of a sudden could play a 2, and they'd be they run into a
Bracket-
Tennessee or someone.
Well, so here's what's
Bracket
interesting.
breaks their way.
Yeah.
I
Here's
can just
here's
play
what's
that field.
interesting with BYU. The bracket has to break their way. With the they can't play on Sundays. They have to be so they don't always get a true seed. That's a fact. They just don't. They will not always be in the right spot, or they will change things with that. Where they'll be on the 7 line and maybe they pop them into the 6 because they're going to go with different times. You can look that up.
Yes, but
they can't play on Sundays.
I think it's deeper than just because the bracket breaking their way is cliche. I just think they're a team that could give a 2 seed or a 3,
100%.
legit real problems and go beat a team like that on any
100%.
given day.
Dukes, what do you have on the net rankings?
So Jay Billis was basically saying that the net rankings, the Big 12 10 teams in the top 45, right? And Brad Brownell, the Clemson coach, went off on it. But basically, like, 10 of the top teams are in the top 45, but the non-conference strength of schedule is like 250 plus for 6 of the teams or something. So they're basically saying like the Big 12 teams kind of hacked the net system. They play these weaker out-of-conference schedules, beat the shit out of each other, and then when they go in conference play, they'll like beat each other and all help their net rankings. So they kind of hacked the system.
You're probably right, but even in eye test, I just think they are by far like the best conference. I think there's really not an easy game like ever.
I'm with you on that.
Like
I did think it was an interesting
who's
point.
the worst team? Oklahoma State.
UCF too is having a tough year, but they beat Kansas.
Even like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like every team has beaten like at least like has like one like good big like a win over like a top like few team.
Well, the net is obviously flawed, but like even I know that like the Dayton coach touched on it. Like he told the players, hey, when we play a shitty opponent, you shouldn't want to just win by 10 or like take the like. You have to beat the fuck out of them because that helps your net ranking go up. Beating the shit out of the poor teams. That's what they did out of conference. It's crazy. It's flawed, but by the time you get to conference play, it's not like net rankings really change that dramatically, in my opinion. Because if you go into the conference play and you're ranked 15th in the net, and you do what you're supposed to do, if you're supposed to go like 14-4, you'll move up or down like a couple spots.
I also just think the whole system is flawed in terms of the way the schedule goes as well. Like you only play conference play from January through March 1st.
Yeah, that's
like
I agree. With
everywhere else, like the Chiefs could open week 1 against the Chargers on Sunday night. The Giants have opened against the Cowboys every year. Like everywhere else, you're playing games that matter in your division. The Mets could open against the Braves. Like that's just the way it goes. Now I'm not saying opening night should be a fucking conference game, but 2 weeks in, you've been practicing since fucking April off the record. Like once the season ends, you're doing workouts in July. You have your team when it's transfer portal set in June and July, and then they're doing workouts and they're practicing all the time. Like let's face it, I don't care what the rules are. They're practicing all the fucking time. You can be ready for a conference game a week and a half in.
I agree.
Then we can evaluate some of these teams like when the 2 line or the 3 line, like. I don't know, Houston plays Creighton right now. Like, let's go take a look at who those 2 teams are battling for the 2-3 line. Like, Bama plays UConn. Like, Purdue plays whatever. Let's go evaluate some of these teams now or in January when it matters. Give me some non-conference things. The same with the bubble. You could have, like, teams I think wouldn't want to do that, but, like, Villanova could go play fucking Clemson right now on the bubble. You know what I mean? Like, or Gonzaga. Like, they could, and we've seen games work late. Maybe teams don't even schedule their full schedule and they figure it out, or if it's a neutral site, whatever. Like, I don't know if it's not all perfect, but I just know that you only play conference from January to March 1st, and you're putting all these teams in a pot, and you haven't been able to cross-examine them directly is like kind of not fair.
I agree with you. I think some of that is part of the fun in it, but I also would say it's kind of always been like that. Like you brought up pro sports, college football is like pretty similar. Like they will mix in like one, but usually play like the out of conference. Like you play the shit teams early. That's how like SEC does that one like the week before that like last week before the SEC championship game. They'll play like kind of a weird
FCS team.
Or the FCS.
That's a little 12 games.
College
is
football has been
though.
like not like as hardcore with it as college basketball's been, but for the most part, like even like Ohio State's had weird years where they've like led off with like Indiana and then played like a couple like out of conference and then played like and then went back to conference, but
like even in that, Florida State plays Florida.
Yeah, no,
Notre Dame plays USC. You know, there's a lot. There's still some of those games that are like
for sure. They definitely mix it in a little bit, which I think they should do in college basketball.
100%.
They definitely should mix in like even if it's just like 2 games apiece. Like you said, like UConn play, and you can schedule however you want. It doesn't have to be like UConn like Houston.
They kind of
like,
try and do that with
early
the
March,
Big
but
East and like the Big 12 play each other, whatever it is.
They do it early in the year though.
Early in the year.
Sometimes,
so early.
Sometimes they do it.
They did.
Later.
They got rid of it. They were doing the SEC Big 12 challenge, and that went away this year.
Big 10.
Yeah,
it went away. That went away this year.
This year it went away, right?
Yeah.
St. John's going to make the tournament now.
100%.
They're going to win tonight. They're going to beat Butler tonight, and then they have DePaul and Georgetown. So it'll be 19-12 with some good wins.
They'd have to win that.
What would be their marquee wins other than Creighton?
I got to look.
Because I think those wins are kind of falling off.
The one thing that they get fucked on is like the way that the committee looks at the Big East tournament. I think it's kind of bullshit.
What do you mean? Oh, that they're neutral.
They're like they don't get the quad 1 wins because they're at home.
I actually think the Big East is not as good as.
It's not really home. It's like
It's at home, yeah.
I think the Big East is kind of top heavy.
No, they have good wins. They swept Nova this year. They won at Nova.
That's bubble wins. That's bubble wins. Nova is bubble.
You were
That's a
saying
solid win.
how many wins
That
about
does not
Alabama
matter.
had that they
That does not
wasn't
matter.
great either.
Alabama's Villanova's bubble wins. They're firmly on the bubble.
beating them twice is good though.
Utah is a bubble win.
That's good though.
West Virginia is whatever.
That's just not that's not a good win. That's not even
All right, so here are their Big East wins: Xavier,
Not bad, I guess.
Butler,
Okay.
Nova,
Good.
Providence.
Solid.
Lost to Creighton, Seton Hall, Marquette. Beat Nova.
Be crazy.
Gonna split with Xavier. Not great. Lost to UConn. Beat DePaul. Lost to Marquette. Lost to Providence. So that's a split. Got swept by Seton Hall. That's gonna hurt them on the bubble. And their opportunity the rest of the way is Butler, DePaul, and Georgetown. Where are they exactly? They're only increasing their resume based on the number of wins from 16 to 19. It's not degree of difficulty. They're supposed to win these
You
games.
said a bunch of games
So they
about
beat,
Alabama,
they beat
right?
Villanova twice. They beat Providence. They beat.
Yeah, you said
Creighton.
it's about Alabama losing. They barely lost to Arizona. They barely lost to Purdue. All that
only
shit.
puts them
They barely
a little
lost
bit
to
above
UConn.
teams on the bubble.
St.
Like, I
John's
think,
lost before to UConn.
even Seton Hall's like a. I get they lost, but Seton Hall. We were actually talking about this with the thing yesterday. Them even being like bubble to me is kind of crazy.
Holloway's a beast. I
Like
don't-
if you're third in the
You-
Big
and you
East,
beat
like,
UConn?
and you beat UConn, like I don't think you're a bubble.
I'm going to me and my brother going to the game with Frank
Who are they playing?
Nova.
Oh, they're playing Nova.
It's gonna be like the biggest game they need to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both.
night is
really
that?
Bad.
Next Wednesday.
I'm looking at their thing right now. Quad 1, Quad 2, they're 8-11. Quad 3, they're 3-1. Quad 4, they're 5-0. So they don't really have that many. Like they have one bad loss.
That's a tournament team.
And they have the Rick Pitino effect. It's not like you can't just look at like Villanova and be like.
I
that's
think
not-
that St.
Nova's
John's
also-
is destined for the play-in because they want these big brands
That's
in the
fine.
I
play-in.
could see that. No, that I could absolutely.
Like
see.
UCLA played fucking Michigan State in a
I
play-in.
could,
said
abs-
it.
I could
Give me-
absolutely.
Indiana played in a play-in. Come on, pull up some of the play-ins for the last
Give me
5 or 6
Pitino.
years.
State
give
and
me-
Boise State.
One was like Michigan State, UCLA.
That's what I said. Yeah,
there you
Michigan
go.
State,
Give
UCLA.
me
Yeah.
Pitino. Give me Izzo in the play-in this year.
Imagine just Michigan
Give me
State.
who
St.
else
John's
is
would
like
be
an
awesome.
11 this year?
Dude, they could be a lot. Gonzaga could be an 11. player.
Gonzaga.
Yeah.
You got Villanova. You got
Where's Virginia at?
They're higher than that, I think.
Virginia's going to be like.
They're probably like a.
7?
That I was gonna say in that range. I thought like something like that. Maybe 8. Maybe on the 8-9 line. Maybe. Because
They're the playing right now against
Really?
Seton Hall.
See?
In
I thought they'd be
minority.
higher than that. Interesting.
Imagine you got Izzo.
That'd be good too.
You got Bennett. You got fucking.
Give me the full bubble. What's the
Seton
bubble
Hall,
right
Virginia
now?
has the 11s.
great.
That'd be
game.
good.
I think it's
too.
up. Yeah, all right. Compare the bubble.
So Seton Hall, Virginia,
Providence,
Providence.
Gonzaga's a
All right,
great.
Texas, Wake, Nevada, New Mexico are all in. So Seton Hall, who got swept by St. John's. St. John's isn't even on there. I mean, this is just this is what they're saying.
Well, yeah, because they didn't.
They
win
split
tonight.
with Providence, so they didn't help themselves there, and they could lose tonight to Butler, which would put them.
Splitting with Providence helps themselves.
No, but they already did split with Providence.
That helps.
Yeah.
But Rico, you're also like so. Villanova plays Providence. If Villanova wins that, Providence is out. Villanova's in. Like Gonzaga could lose
St.
to
John's
St.
is playing
Mary's.
Butler tonight. That's another
Yeah, like
next
if
4
St.
out.
John's.
Yeah, if St. John's beats Butler, they'll at least be next.
They'll bump Butler, yeah.
Yeah.
And they
Exactly.
they literally have a win over Butler and then two or
Well, the other thing is
Also-
they also have a win over Utah.
Also, and,
that'd be huge for them. They basically
Yeah.
beat like all those teams on the bubble.
yeah, and you're saying Butler on the road, which would probably bump you into the
Right.
first 4 out.
I think they have to get to the Big East semi, and I think they're going to need to beat somebody good in the quarters for that.
Yeah.
In the Big
To feel
East.
comfortable in selection
To feel
Sunday.
comfortable, yeah.
Yeah,
but
no, I would
think
agree.
they're destined for a play-in because
Also, Rick Pitino being the coach helps. them.
100%.
Just like they want him in it.
Without a doubt. Like
I
the
have-
committee every year used to be like, oh, yeah, sorry, we didn't know. You're telling me Johnny Dawkins playing Krzyzewski in the second round a couple years ago was a coincidence? You're telling me Mike Bray in 2001 when Notre Dame played Duke back then was a coincidence?
Oh, they're looking
Some of the
ahead
Carol,
for
they
sure.
100%
They're looking ahead for sure. There's
storylines.
certain
Carolina,
things-
I'm sure, has had guys. Self played Illinois one year, didn't he? Right? Or was lined up to play Illinois.
So.
Where he's got some history there or something. I can't even keep track of all the storylines. But I do know that they all have names there. They all have. They want the storylines.
Did
for
you guys
sure,
catch
so.
the Nevada game last night? By the way, just
Yeah,
looking at them.
that's why I was talking about the Mountain West because they just eat each other alive.
Do you know
Easiest bet
who
last night was
hit
Notre
the
Dame.
game winner? Do you know
What?
the guy that hit the game winner was Jared Lucas from the Oregon State team that went to the Elite Eight, like the point guard.
Oh, really?
Is that not?
That's his team.
That's my team. I rode them literally from the Pac-12 tourney like all the way.
There's
Good,
nothing better than finding.
I bought their merch. They were so good to me. That team is like I'm indebted forever.
There's nothing
to
better
that to that Oregon State basketball team.
Oklahoma State.
I
was that
believed
for
in
me.
them when no one believed in them, and I couldn't believe how much they just kept winning.
Oklahoma State was
Unbelievable.
that for me, and I lost so much money that game. Just like fucking live betting, being like, nobody's better than Cade.
Yeah,
nobody's better than
because he
Cade.
was. Yeah,
was
we were together
unbelievable.
watching that.
We were in a bar
in
in
a
Chicago. We were
really
we were
bad
shooting
bar.
weeds. We're in a bar
Yes.
where the table next to us bought us Rumpelman shit.
Yes, it was the worst bar.
And I
of
was
the
sitting
time,
there just
probably.
being like, this Oregon State team. They just,
Yeah.
Because I think we
Dave's
shut
got
it
nothing
down.
for 'em.
We
Yep.
shut down the stream a little early or
They
something
did,
like
yeah,
that.
they did,
I think
they
Dave
did.
was. We were in. Yeah. That was.
We were in,
So excited
we were in
for March
Chicago for like
Madness,
5
dude.
days straight.
Seriously, can't wait for
I need to find that team.
I'm already looking at Champ Week of the different things. I love when the brackets start coming out.
Yep.
It's fucking.
Do you guys have any futures yet?
I have St. Mary's in
gonna put one
Alabama.
on Baylor. Like Jack Beck was asking me because I've done good. I've never brought one like home. The last couple of years, I've had like one or two good ones that like I got deep and went like really
Right from
far.
last year.
Well, I have an idea for
I think
Champ-
Baylor.
Champ
I
Week.
think Baylor and Florida are going to be my team.
Monday of Champ Week. I think we do that. So here's my idea. Dukes can be in on it too. Maybe it's a day if Smitty's out because he's not always in on it. I think Clemmer and Smitty split a team, whatever. But that thing we did on our show, the studio show of the conference tournament futures. So tell me how you want to set this all up. It's a snake draft, the way it goes, but there could be. Do you think there should be or there shouldn't be one double up? So
do you mean?
if I take Kansas at 3-1 to win the Big 12, one other person can also have that on their card.
No.
Nah, I say one off.
Straight up,
Yeah, ones,
as
yeah,
far as it
ones.
goes.
One
Okay.
gets the same-
So you want to go? So what do you think in terms of the setups? Can you have two teams from the SEC, or you should have one team in each of the Power Fives and then one of the miscellaneous?
I think that.
So we'll go SEC, ACC, Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10,
in Big East.
and Big East. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then what if we each got like one mid major, like one out of that, like one team each out of that.
And what do you get? 1 point for each win?
I think it would be fun to do the A10 and the Ivy League because they're both playing on Sunday, I believe, like of Selection Sunday. So there's like only 3 games.
Or just one mid-major future. But the problem is a lot of those mid-majors have already, some of them are already they're already going. Like it wouldn't be the horizon. That championship would have already, like it's Monday night that we're picking. So
but
you would need, I think Conference USA and AAC and stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking. Mountain West.
If we each just like
one
like
straight up before the tournament.
Major, yeah, like whatever.
So you get a
Whether
point
it's
for a
like
win.
FAU or like
Yeah.
whoever. Like
You get I think the win should scale. You get 1 for a quarterfinal win. You get half for a play-in. So if you're the 7-10, you win, you play in. You get 1 for a quarter,
saying in the
2 for a
you're saying
semi.
in the conference tournament or
in the conference tournament. All in the conference tournament. So and it's all odds. So you could take Kansas minus 200 to win the Big 12, let's say.
Yeah.
Or Houston minus 200.
Yeah.
You're laying 2 to win 1
so-
odd on the payout.
Yeah.
So now all the points add up in terms of wins. Let's say you acquire the points. But if you bring one home, you also get that 5-1 payout.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then you add it all the way across.
Yep. I'm into
So
it.
we're in on that.
I'm into it.
Big 6 and then 1 mid-major.
Yep.
Half a point for a quarter for a play-in win, point for a quarter, 2 for a semi, 4 for a championship, or 3 for a championship.
4. We'll go
4 for a
if we,
championship?
like, bring it home. Yeah.
All right.
Get a little more for a championship. I like it.
When we're in bubble talk too, just would like to get you guys' opinion on this. Is there a bubble team that you guys could see making a run? So there's someone just that wants to see look at the odds.
Nevada to a degree.
Honestly, a few of those seems like even like maybe like a Virginia. Like I mean, if they're really like a bubble team, like because obviously stylistically they could be a problem for teams. Even maybe I'm biased. I just saw them in person, but I really think just St. John. They're so veteran. Like any team that has like a vet, they're all like old guys.
Yeah.
They're all like 22. Like that kid Jenkins is a stud.
Yeah.
You have like a short, you have a big man.
Ledlam's
I'm
been around for a while.
I'm thinking off the top of my head, teams that just have like are constructed, I think, in a way that would be they're just like a tough out for teams.
I think Nova's right there. Talk about a team.
No, I was gonna say them too. Yeah,
They could play with any of the best teams in the country. I mean, they have like bad losses, but their wins are really good too.
Is A&M on the bubble?
Yeah.
Or they're like in?
Close. I think they're safe, but
close.
like
They're like a team that I would consider. They have like really good guards, like Wade Taylor and Radford are. They have, like that, though that's a combo that I
They're
give guys
the
troubles.
first team out right now.
So yeah, can you pull that up again on the screen just for that? Just see that group.
They're 15-12. Like they're not like.
listen, I
There's a
know that
couple of those
they've.
teams that can make run.
I know it's cliche. Maybe they need to be off the radar. Like Gonzaga, fucking is pretty scary.
Dude,
Ike's really good.
Yeah.
I love that kid.
Their team
Gonzaga
as well.
with
Their
no
team as well for
expectations
sure.
is scarier. When they have expectations, it's I'm way more scared of Gonzaga.
How funny
I
would
feel
be
like
if
it's
they-
also
they
been a
won- they won
while.
It all as like a 10 seed.
Yeah.
Pull up Few's tournament history in the past too. Feels like it's been a while since they've gone out in the first round.
A&M's literally
Also, like,
last 4 games are killed them. Lost to Vandy, lost to Bama's fine, but then lost to Arkansas at home.
Yeah, I do that.
Then lost.
I'm betting them
If
tonight.
I'm
I
a
think they're
6
desperate tonight. They bounce back.
Also minus 5.5. That's a great.
I know that's what I'm
love
saying. I got 4.5. I think.
if I'm a 6 seed and I get Gonzaga after the first 4 games,
Nightmare.
that is
Horrible,
that's
yeah.
legitimately my nightmare right now.
So Few is going off of. Now, granted, these were some of his best teams, but Elite Eight going backwards. Elite Eight, Sweet 16, national runner-up, canceled 2020. Elite Eight, Sweet 16, national runner-up, Sweet 16, Elite Eight. The last time he got knocked out in a round of 32 was 14-13, and he had 5 second-round exits back-to-back. So 14, 13, 12, 11, and 10, they all went in the whatever. But the last time he's lost in the first round was 2008. And you know who he lost to in the first round in 64? You know who that team was? Davidson.
That when
They were at 10-7.
Curry dropped like 40.
Yeah, exactly. And they gave him, so they were
They faced one of the best players of all
yeah,
time.
so if they beat that Davidson team, I think they make that run too. You're telling me Gonzaga wouldn't have made that run? They were just as good as Davidson. It's been a while since he's been knocked out in the first round. I think it's, just one of those years, like, look at what he did for the last 5 or 6 years. You're going to have a little bit of a downtick. Villanova was cutting down nets. It was almost every year. Kansas is having a little bit of a downtick this year to a degree. I think, I don't know. Don't rule out Gonzaga. Picks tonight, I'll give you 3.
Wait. Before we end, I need to ask you both. Do you think I ruined Trevor Bauer's career?
It didn't help.
Do you think that there's do you think, because the fan was talking about it for no joke 20 minutes last night, and I had just called in because they were saying a lot of things, like they were legitimate, like I think MLB teams will look at that and be like, why we can't sign him?
I legitimately said that to Smitty yesterday on air. I'm pretty sure we talked about it on air. I said I can't remember. I said I legitimately think that GMs will look at that and be like, they already were having some hesitation, and they're like, if this Joe Schmo Mush guy can get off the couch and rip a couple balls in the outfield, like regardless that you played D3 college, you think they give a fuck? A GM? No. He played college baseball 7 years ago. Yeah. They're gonna be like, you fucking kidding me? This guy can get hit off him? Why would we waste our time?
Dude, people were that.
I'm dead serious. I really think like that. His cause was already not great due to like whatever. We don't have to get into off the field stuff, but that was already like obviously hurting him. This definitely didn't help.
Dude, it went to when it got to 7 million views, and then people were like, this. I can't believe he put it out on his channel.
That's how I felt when I watched it. I was like, why is he like, and the fact that I forgot we did talk about it. I said too, in the video, he's doing like the green screen thing where he's like, he's literally saying how like he's trying his hardest. Yeah. Like it's not even like, because if he didn't do that, he could have been like, yeah, I grooved him in a couple fastballs.
Yeah.
He knew fastball was coming. He hit it. He used to play baseball a little bit. And people might be whatever about it. He's sitting there like, I know he hit the fastball, so I got to mix in some changes of it. And obviously he threw a couple that made you look silly, but like you still were like hitting the ball.
Dude, everyone was kind of like, they asked me like, did he like kind of groove some fastballs? Like when I walked into the facility, there was Screamo music playing. Screamo fucking nut crazy. Then all his goons are coming up to me being like, you're fucked, buddy. This is your last meal. I go, it made me so much more calm because I was like, these guys are nuts. Like, what's going? They're like, you want to warm up? I go, no, I'm good. I'll just walk. I'll go in there. I'll be okay. It's baseball. You know, like it's not like it's football where he can just tackle me. He's stronger and bigger. It's like he has to throw a pitch that in the strike zone.
Or he could have came with some high heat early.
Could have hit me or
He
something.
could have
but
hit you in the ribs and fucking
The chin.
yeah,
right away.
Just
Dust you off the plate.
I would have just turned into dust if he hit me. But like I was like, I'll be fine. And then when I got those hits, I'm like, and my series starts tonight, 5:30. We got, first of all, content tonight. Frank the Tank with a special guest, supposedly one of his like haters or something, or he hates him. Mine's 5:30. Then Uganda comes out tonight.
I'm actually really excited about that.
So there's a great content coming out tonight. But yeah, mine comes out 5:30. If I start doing well, I feel like I should get an invite to spring training. I feel like Phil, you think the Mets can let me come for a little spring training action?
I mean, I'm not going to comment on that.
I mean,
Cause,
who was better last year, me or Vogelback right now?
well, you swung the bat. I wouldn't give you a roster spot in the Mets without Frank's blessings. That's all.
That would be me getting a spring training with the Mets and getting just like any contact and just seeing Frank's reactions would be worse.
The only thing I think that would make Frank more mad would be if they signed Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
He'd be like, Marty Mush got to hit off him.
He'd lose.
Starting opening day.
Lose his fucking mind.
Tonight's Greg Weissert. You know him, Ev, from last year.
Yankees, Yankees guy.
He went to the Red Sox in the
For Verdugo.
Verdugo trade. He's got a disgusting
That one, a slider. Yeah.
And he throws, in this video, is throwing 95, so it's a good video. So watch it tonight.
3-pack tonight. I'm going to go Indiana State minus the 9.5, Colgate minus the 12.5. I think they crush Holy Cross. They can shoot the 3 really well. I'm going to take Drake minus the 8.5 tonight. Ev, what do you got?
I got Texas A&M minus 4.5. We talked about a little bit big time bounce back spot. They need this one really bad. Playing also is unranked favorite over the ranked team. They're at home, need it bad. Florida I like as well. Florida's a team I'm buying in on for the tournament. They're like, I think they're like 16-1 Final Four, like 71 natty. I mean,
I like Florida. I was very impressed with Florida.
I think they're impressed. I think they've given
impressed with Florida.
All these SEC teams, they've even given them like tough battles on the road. They took Bama to OT, a game at Bama they should have won.
Yep.
They beat Kentucky. I think it was at Kentucky. Walter Clayton's really good. They're laying 13 tonight as home favorites. I like them. What was the other one I like too? Oh, and I like Ole Miss plus 5.5 at home against Bama. Just them and Bama are almost very similar in the sense that, which is kind of a lot of the SEC. They're just like very good at home. They struggle on the road. I like Ole Miss catching 5.5 at home.
Marty, what do you got?
I got Auburn plus 6.5 against Tennessee. I got Marquette minus 11.5 against Providence. That's a huge number. Duke minus 20.5. I'm gonna be honest. That one's they could win by 15.
They play in Louisville.
Yeah, like they're coming off just like that loss against Wake Forest. So I don't know what Filipowski's gonna do. Which
I wish you were like I mean.
Shout out Jay Billis. Arrest everybody.
Just disgusting.
Real quick,
Truly
really
disgusting.
quick. That is so stupid, but it's pretty simple what they have to do.
Just security hold them for
5
like
seconds.
2 seconds. Yeah,
5 seconds.
Or
You-
2 seconds.
You say, listen, because Wake Forest did run onto the court with 0.8 seconds left. That's that's a technical foul, and Duke should get 2 shots in the ball. Not just anyone. That's just a rule. But you have to give the players 5 seconds. If you're not off in 5 seconds, it's the player's fault. Correct?
Yeah, but Filipowski shouldn't assault students. I would say
He didn't assault him. I mean, listen, he's 6'9", and people are fucking running at you. His knee got banged up. It's just
Well, also it went from like he twisted his ankle to like his knees
listen.
a little bit sore. Now he's
I'm gonna
fine,
put you on a
basically.
court and have the entire student section run after you. Get out of the way.
Yeah, I will. I would.
I have Northwestern plus 5.5 tonight. That's a rat I'm falling right into because Northwestern's been.
I've been staring at that one because Maryland, I just can't trust them. But the line
sometimes
is screaming,
it's screaming,
begging you to take
But
Northwestern.
sometimes it just works.
It does for sure.
Because Northwestern, I stared at it. I go, Northwestern is just the better team. They're 19-8 this year. They're a good team. They're gonna be in the tournament. Maryland's been that team that like sucks, and then also like kind of takes some good wins. So I'm going with
They
Northwestern.
just beat Rutgers at Rutgers.
Yeah. What do you? I want to ask you guys. I'm going Colorado minus 10.5. Colorado's going to be a team if they get in a tournament. Just watch out for them a little bit.
Yeah, they got a kid who's going to be the number 1 pick,
Like,
right? I'll be
they have
honest, I haven't
them.
watched much.
Oh.
What?
Yeah,
I love the Colorado.
I haven't watched much of Colorado.
They
I
have
have
like three.
two of
they have,
their
like, three
two of their
first-rounders.
two of their
I don't watch
best
much.
players I would see like might be out tonight for them.
Oh well, that's.
They have how many first rounders?
They have like. I was looking at.
But
mock
they
draft,
have
like
one.
three.
They have one guy. I forget what the fuck's his name again.
Cody
Oh.
Williams.
Williams. I would say. They were saying. I think it's him and Hammond might not play tonight.
KJ Simpson's like averages like 20 a game. Like,
That kid Williams is legitimately the projected
They-
top like 5 pick.
And they have Oscar De Silva's brother Tristan, and they have TCU transfer Eddie Lampkin.
Oh,
I love Lampkin. Love Lampkin.
We like Lampkin a lot.
Guys, he on TCU. He was great.
Yeah.
I want to
have-
ask you about Iowa State, Oklahoma.
Is it Iowa State minus how many?
9.5.
I saw that. It seemed like a line.
In Ames.
I like Moser, and they got the good guards, but they have not been playing
Tipsy, I
well
like.
down the stretch.
All right,
Wisconsin's falling apart, by the
they're
way.
horrible.
they
They should
are.
be out of the tournament.
They are.
They're
2-7 or 2-6 in
They're
February.
fucking horrible. I'm going Texas A&M as well minus 5.5. St. John's plus 1.5. Seton Hall plus 8.5, and Illinois minus 11.5.
I have BC -1 against UVA at home, and then I have St. John's plus 1.5, and I have St. Louis plus 5 against Richmond.
Okay. You were pretty good last night with the Bonnies. Now look at
Yeah, Dayton has a
Dayton last
huge
night.
game on Friday.
Friday night.
Huge.
I like that.
On the road
going to
at
the
Loyola
A10
Chicago
tournament,
for the
dudes?
conference, basically. What up?
You going to the A10 tournament in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Of course. you are.
Going to Dayton next Friday for Dayton VCU.
I hope that guy dummies you again.
Yeah, if we lose that, I'm like looking at the A10 conference right now.
That video just makes me laugh.
One of my favorite videos.
We might not win the conference, and we might be like a 2 or 3 seed. And the way that it's like now is VCU's the 4, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to be the 1 seed.
The A10 people are crazy. This one, we'll close out with this too. It's kind of crazy. Do you know where the Sun Belt tournament is? Take a guess. It's a neutral site, which is kind of crazy too, but
Son.
Sun Belt.
So the
DC.
No.
the Big South used to be at Coastal, and now they're in the Sun
The
Belt.
Sun Belt tournament is in Pensacola, Florida. They don't have a single team in the state of Florida.
I love that.
It's fucking
I don't mind that.
soft.
That's
I don't
the
mind that,
coaches.
though.
Fucking, I kept going. I'm like,
Mind it.
that's where the
coaches
tournament
getting
is?
all getting together. So let's go to Florida.
I guess, yeah. It's
I
bizarre.
mean, they're all like Louisiana.
But I can't wait. Like,
Carolina,
I
and
can't
shit.
fucking wait to just be navigating them all. Like the Sun Belt, the whole tournament's on ESPN
We've had
Plus
this conversation.
until the final. Like, give me that.
Me and Rico, we've had this conversation a ton. Conference championship week is like better than March
It's
Madness.
almost as good. It's
very-
There's more
in
games.
some ways, it's better. I agree.
It's better when the bubble
That
is
like,
like
that midweek,
bizarre,
when, like
yeah.
ACC and all them stuff,
Yeah.
when like the big ones start,
Yeah.
and it's just like all day long.
I
Also
wish
playing
there was a
back-to-back
way.
nights. They're not taking a night off.
The only thing is the Monday and Tuesday of that week, there's not a lot, or if any, day games.
Yeah.
So I wish that they did a way where there was a way where like the Big Ten decided they started their tournament with the day games on Monday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
During the week, but obviously everybody wants to play over the weekend. You
it's
get more with
ACC.
travel.
I always remember that Wednesday. It's always like the play-in games, like ACC, are like at noon and like 2.
Yeah.
Or like 11. And
Well,
1, whatever.
Thursday is the day to me. That's
Yeah,
the Big East. Growing up, that was the Big East quarters. You know, it's the ACC. Well, growing up, it was the ACC like play-ins, but now it's the ACC quarters because they're Saturday night. Like it's the Big 12 quarters. You got just run of the mill, everything going, everything clicking. Conference championship week.
Close. It's
It's
coming.
fucking nothing better.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's
To end the show, I got robbed at the combine. Just got robbed.
Yeah.
Okay though.
Me and Smitty talked about it yesterday. You did.
Fraud and order.
how did you had to name a current show and a canceled show?
Oh, name any show.
Any show that's ever
in
existed.
Oh, ever. Okay.
Barstool. I was naming everything.
I saw that. Yeah, the whiteboard was smart. You could give yourself notes. I
Brought
thought
up
that was-
surf and turf. There's so many that were brought up. I'm like, and shout out Dukes, but KB lost because he said the crease drive
Yeah,
instead of
fucking
crease dive.
top 100 lacrosse podcast.
yeah.
Top 100. It's a top like 2.
Yeah. All right.
Top
That's
100.
That's Pick Central. We'll catch you tomorrow.